You've heard the threats over and over. President Obama vowing to use his pen and his phone to bypass Congress and take executive action.
Now, I'm going to be working with Congress where I can to accomplish this. But I'm also going to act on my own if Congress is deadlocked. I've got a pen to take executive actions where Congress won't, and I've got a telephone to rally folks around the country on this mission.
And tonight, Republican Representative Jim Jordan warning President Obama's executive action on immigration could lead to voter fraud. And the Congressman joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Good to be with you.
And in specific, you're pointing to voter fraud in your home state of Ohio, which, of course, is a very important state come 2016.
Every 4 years, it's kind of the center of the political universe. Yep. And so it's important that only citizens are participating in our election process. The president's action gives access to 5 million people to get Social Security cards and driver's license. Those are the documents used in our state to register to vote. We had our Secretary of State testify today, and he thinks this is a real problem. I mean, you got the potential for 5 million people who now have access to those documents. We already had in Ohio, according to the Secretary's testimony, 291 folks on the voter registration rolls. In the last 15 months, Greta, 70 elections in our state were decided by one vote. So 70, that many elections, and now the potential for potentially 5 million Americans that now can have access to these, the potential for some of those to get registered to vote and actually as non-citizens participate in our election process. All
right. Well, the president says he's going to act with pen and paper when he sees Congress is deadlocked. But for the life of me, I don't see him going up to Capitol Hill or inviting people down from Capitol Hill and sitting around and really discussing this. This seems just to be, you know, it's my way or no way, and then he's just going to act. You know, there is a little bit to governing than just drawing a line in the sand. I don't know if he's right or he's wrong, but I don't see this. I don't see anyone discussing this.
Well, go back to this issue. I asked our Secretary of State and the Secretary of States from around the country in Washington this week for their conference. I asked him today at the hearing, did the president consult you guys? Did he talk to you, Mr. Husted, our Secretary of State in Ohio? Did he talk to your association and say, I'm going to issue this order with my pen? And what impact might it have on the election process and the ability of maybe non-citizens participating in it? He didn't ask him. And our Secretary of State has sent a letter to the president saying, here's the remedy. Help us do the remedy so we can make sure our elections are fair. Our elections only allow citizens to participate. No answer from the White House.
What's your Secretary of State's solution to this?
Well, he says we need access to a database where you have the last 4 digits of the non-citizens who are here on deferred action. You need access to the database where the last 4 digits and their birth date and their name, of course, so you can match it against voter registration rolls and make sure only citizens are participating in our election.
All right, and he doesn't have that?
No, he doesn't have that information and can't match it up.
Okay, you know what the problem is? This is a little bit nutty. I mean, I can be in Abu Dhabi and stick my ATM card in and get $100 out of the money machine, but for some reason we can't seem to figure out what to do about voter registering, and we've got a president who seems unwilling to talk to you about immigration, so we can figure out some sort of strategy so that we can at least streamline this and make sense out of any of this.
Yeah, exactly. And remember at the premise here, go back to the start of this. 22 times the president said he couldn't do what he did last November. Unconstitutional action. Not what I say. Liberal law professors even say what he did was unconstitutional. And because of that action, the unfairness that's involved, we now have non-citizens, we've learned in the last few weeks, non-citizens getting Social Security benefits, non-citizens being able to get tax refunds, non-citizens getting in front of legal immigrants in the process they go through to legally come to this country, who do all the work to come to this country. And now we learn today non-citizens might, in fact, it might be easier for them to participate in our election process.
He won't talk to you. Why don't you call him? Why don't you call him tomorrow and say, let's talk about this?
I would love to do that. Our Secretary of State is contacting. We got a letter from our Ohio delegation.
I know, but just someone call him. Call him up and say, look, we got to figure this one out.
I think we do.
I know. Whatever, right?